To the respiratory system. What we're going to look at today is just the anatomy of the lungs. So the structure mainly. Well, those are the other areas that we're going to cover throughout this respiratory system series. So what is respiration? It's a very clever system that helps to supply the body with oxygen and also remove carbon dioxide. Now, this has got a lot of different processes in order to have this work. So, in terms of respiration, we're looking at the exchange of these gases to create energy. Now, that's the structure of our lungs and the system that we're going to use. And basically, the order that we go through, so we'll breathe in through the nasal cavity or the nose. That'll go through the epiglottis, into the pharynx, then the larynx, the trachea, and then the bronchi, and then in the bronchioles, and then it will finally end up in the lungs. So, to describe each one in a little bit of detail, air is drawn in through the body through the nose. Okay, that's where it can go through. It can go through the mouth, of course. Now, the nasal cavity is divided by a cartilaginous septum that forms the two nasal passages. And in here, we've got this mucous membrane, and that'll help to warm the air and make the air a little bit more moist. And what you've got in there is small hairs that help to trap any dust or anything like that might possibly damage the lungs, and that'll filter it out, and that can eventually then be blown out with a tissue or something like that. And that's there. Okay. The epiglottis. Now this is like a flap of cartilage just at the top of the larynx, which will close over the trachea. So when we swallow, this cartilage will close. And this basically prevents any food that you eat entering the trachea, which can effectively then choke you. The pharynx, this is a funnel-shaped piece that connects the nasal cavity and the mouth to the larynx and the esophagus, and has quite an important role. I mean, it's roughly 13 centimeters long. It's surrounded by skeletal muscle, so it can be changed. So as we breathe, you can swallow, things like that. Then the larynx. This is where you get your voice box. It's about 5 centimeters. It's made of cartilage, and for the males, this will hold the Adam's apple, and it'll provide an open airway to let you breathe in and out quite freely, and we'll switch that mechanism between food and air as well. Obviously gives you voice. So we've got the epiglottis, just there, that little flap of cartilage. Pharynx in here. Okay, this space, and then as we work our way to the larynx, you just see the voice box section there. This can help us with the flow of air. This skeletal muscle as well keeps it open nice and wide, and it's very, very strong as well. It's almost like a strong plastic. In a way, but it's organic, and the human body's made something like this, which is quite amazing. Onto the trachea, sometimes known as the windpipe. It's lined with a mucous membrane, ciliated cells which trap the dust. Now this contains the 18 rings of cartilage, like I just mentioned, and these keep it open. These little cartilages, they're so tough and so strong. They keep it open and also help to protect it. The trachea goes from the larynx and goes all the way down to the initial start of the bronchi. So just as it branches off to enter the lungs. So it's quite a long section. That's the trachea there. The bronchi and bronchioles, this is where it divides into two bronchi. The right bronchus goes into the right lung. And that's the same with the left bronchus as well. The bronchi then divides into smaller bronchioles. So people that might get bronchiolitis or bronchitis, this is where the problem is. So the bronchioles enable air to pass through into what we have called the alveoli, and that's where the diffusion takes place. So this is where CO2 gets unloaded and oxygen gets taken out. So important factor in the alveoli. So there's your bronchus and your bronchi.